This is Garage Ministries Shop Talk, encouraging you to live a better life. All right, this is Garage Ministry Shop Talk, and today I got a buddy of mine here that I'm pretty excited about, David Bonilla. Uh, we met through New Life Church, and but we kind of had a God moment
Mhm.
that really kind of put us together a little tighter. We went to uh, I went into bowl time. I went into bowl time here in Russellville, and I think I just walked in there to get a snack or something like that.
Yeah.
And you and our brother Jose Cano were
Yes,
sitting
sir.
in there chatting, and you told me about the lock-in revival that you guys were
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah, that
do.
was that weekend.
Yeah, and uh, and then a good friend of mine, Shannon Stokes, was speaking there, and I uh, I just wanted to go. I
Mm.
just wanted to be part of it. I didn't realize that I was going to be one of the oldest people in the room when I went, but had a great experience with you, uh, and I don't know. Ever since then, I just kind of wanted to get to know you a little bit better. So, uh, tell us a little bit about who is David. So, like Christian men, we're always family and church is always a big part of it. But like, what do you like to do outside of church?
Yeah.
So, like, if you had a day that you could just go do whatever you wanted.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, I mean, if you already know me, a lot of people out there, they see me at Midtown a lot. Midtown Coffee.
Yeah.
I back in 2020, 2021, right after COVID, I had just graduated high school. After high school, I went into the military, and after I got out of basic training, I came back, and it just opened my mind to a world without limits. And so I started learning a lot about the mind and just growing and learning. So I'm at Midtown a lot, pouring into myself. I just love learning, man. I don't know what it is about it, and just the the evolution process of who we can become if we're consistent over a long period of time, uh, and just small things added in a day, added up over a long period of time, really does change us in such a way. And so every year, my goal is really just to become a whole different person. Every year, where I can look back and be like, "Whoa!" So I love learning, but then I also love working out, man. I love
Yeah.
keeping myself
Yeah, that's something
in shape.
I need to get better about. So, that's actually really cool. I didn't expect that. So you like to study
Oh,
uh
everything.
like everything.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that you probably study the Bible a lot, but you have other topics you like to study.
For sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Something heavy that I got into is really just the mind itself. I mean, the brain is not the mind. It's the brain is something physical, but the mind, when it's connected intellectually with the spirit
Yeah.
in that realm, like we can really. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like not that I can physically see the spiritual realm, but you can kind of start connecting the dots. You know what I mean? And
Oh
then the
yeah.
mind just becomes something so prevalent to where we can kind of hold it, and be like, okay, I'm gonna think these thoughts, and choose to meditate on these thoughts, and okay, I'm gonna focus here, and then those thoughts lead to others, and then it's an expansion, it's abundant, and then more ideas lead to more ideas, but then obviously the heart, if the heart's not correct, not right, then
Man, that kind of speaks to me about like what we were just talking about before we started recording about like, if you're at idle, you can fall into things that you didn't necessarily need to fall into or didn't know that you were going to fall into. But if you're mindfully studying all the time and trying to meditate on the positive side of life, that
mm-hmm.
you're going to continue to grow on that.
So heavy.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, maybe you should think about. My last show was about therapy and counseling, so
Yeah,
you might think about that as a career. But
yeah.
uh, speaking of careers, so you're a
I'm a
barber,
barber, man.
yeah,
Full-time barber right now. Yes,
yeah,
sir. I've been cutting hair since actually during the COVID lockdown. So I
oh,
went to basic training. I left in October of 2019, and I came back from basic training in April of 2020. and that was the middle of COVID lockdown. I had planned to go to UCA, become a coach or something, but God had something different for me,
Right.
Yeah. And I would say, bro, I'm kind of like a therapist already in the
Yeah.
barbershop,
Yeah. 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 My grandfather and two of my uncles are barbers.
Really?
Yeah, and
Where at?
they're out in California.
Okay,
My
okay,
well, my
okay.
grandfather's passed away, but both of my uncles are out in
And that's
California.
where you grew up, right? Okay.
Yeah, I grew up in California, Bay Area, north of the San Francisco Bay Area, uh, and I almost became a barber. So
Mm.
so I thought that was kind of interesting. Um, yeah, it is kind of like I don't know. I've never really thought about it before, but I mean, different barbershops could probably have a different vibe to them, but
Mm. Yeah.
you could definitely use that as
Yeah.
a place to minister, a place
Mhm.
to give people some therapy. I know that my barber, Fat Tony, in here in Russellville,
Mhm.
uh, I never knew it, but man, he was actually really gave me some good advice over
Really
the years,
nice.
and he actually allows me to do the new breed there at
Yes,
his
sir.
barbershop,
Yes,
so
sir.
it's pretty cool.
Speaking about vibes at a barbershop, man, um, I want to open up my own. Actually, that's something that I'm looking into right now. Um, I've been looking at some spots, got a tour inside a few buildings already.
Yeah,
But if you're watching this, please pray over that because that's something that I want to do for sure. But it's gonna be Christian based,
yeah,
where um, obviously as someone that is Christ centered and already following the Lord heavily. Uh, what I want to do is be able to disciple the barbers that are going to be working there,
yeah.
and then as we're discipling them, then obviously they're pouring into any any
Awesome.
clients that walk through. But that's
Yeah.
something that's on my heart right now.
No, I love that. That's a great. I think that I don't want to get too far into it because we could do a whole show on this topic, but I think we're headed into a time uh, with AI and stuff like that. I think we're headed into a time of deception, and unfortunately, I'm not trying to be a negative like doom and gloomer
No, I
because
got you.
that's not what I believe, but I do believe that. I mean, I'm sure you've probably seen AI videos already
For sure.
that are like, is that real? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I think that now more than ever, for all of us, not just young people, but it's time for us to know the truth
Definitely.
and to dive deeper into it and know uh, know where we stand morally
No
and
doubt.
all that. So I think that a program like that is awesome,
Nice.
fantastic. Uh, so I've I've heard stuff. I don't know. Are you also a pastor or becoming a
Mm.
pastor? Or I know that you do the revivals and
Yeah.
you do the stuff and you do preach there a little bit. So are you guys doing like a Spanish speaking ministry or
Yeah. So the Spanish group eventually will turn into Spanish service there at New Life.
okay?
Um, So becoming pastor is actually something in the process, and it's something that I never knew. To be honest, actually, my very first mission trip when I went out there last June, uh, Caleb put me to the side, and I have a picture on my phone exactly when he put me to the side, and he was looking dead in my eyes, and he was telling me, "Bro, I see this in you. Let's talk whenever you get back." And in my head, as I'm looking at him, I'm like, I'm already in Peru, you know what I mean, doing the Lord's work. And that was my very first mission trip, so I'm already shook in itself, right? And then once he pulls me to the side, I'm like, I mean, I just kind of went along with it, right? But over time, I started seeing like, wow, like I guess I do have some of these qualities inside of me, the characteristics and everything. So right now at the moment, whenever I first we came back from Peru, um, last June, ever since me and Caleb have been meeting up every week, actually. Now it's more so every other week, but we meet up and it's just pouring into me. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
uh, it's not really a curriculum or anything like that. It's just I gotta be real, like I gotta open up so much to where eventually they trust me, and then yeah, that's gonna be um, later down the road, right? But right now, where we are with the Spanish group is they actually tried to do this back in 2021, the first time, but it didn't work out. It wasn't its timing, anything.
right.
When I first came to New Life here in Russellville, Pastor Mark was always bugging me. We gotta get a Spanish service going. We gotta get a Spanish service going, right? Um, And so we started with the life group last August, a year ago. Started with the life group, carried it on over the summer as well. We're meeting every other Wednesday, and then but the goal is to eventually have a Spanish service. Yeah.
And then, so you're doing that every other Wednesday, and then every Tuesday you have a group that meets too,
Yes,
right?
sir. And that's a Bible study that we put together right after I came back from Peru that first time around.
And that's just all that. That's more geared just to young people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's English
Yes, sir.
and
Yes, sir.
young people. Uh, uh, there's a young man that was in one of your services that is teaching my son how to swim, and so I told him to be
Yeah.
on the lookout for this.
Luke.
Yeah, Luke. So this is a shout out to Luke. So
Yes,
if you're
sir.
watching this, brother, we were thinking of you.
Let's go.
Uh, so what if there was a moment or like a a few moments of like what sealed the deal with you and God? And what I mean by that is like, can you remember a time? I mean, if you don't have to get into any detailed
Yeah.
testimony if you want, or you can share whatever you want. But where you're like, man, this is the thing,
Hmm.
and God is real, and I'm devoted to Him.
Yeah.
Like, tell us about that.
Yeah. Well, I was I was raised in the Catholic faith, and so being brought up in it due to it being passed on, I couldn't. Not that Catholics aren't Christ followers or anything like that, right? Because we all make the body of Christ. It wasn't how I personally was able to find Christ myself. You know,
Okay.
I knew there's a God.
Yeah.
I didn't know we could actually have a relationship with Him, right? And so the first time I was saved was in 2021. Rock bottom, to be honest. I had moved from Russellville. I went out to Conway. I started barber school during that time. I was just tired of being home. Um, a lot of abusive relationships there. And so went out to Conway, started barber school, got myself an apartment for a whole year. And that's when I said, enough is enough. I've got to change. And so I stopped hanging out with the same friend group, started reading. That's when I started reading, journaling, meditating, listening to audios, hitting the gym. Had a good routine going for me, right? And that whole year, I kind of just went ghost, to be honest. Um, but I guess my heart posture ended up attracting individuals, and I got invited to Chi Alpha Ministry in Conway at UCA,
Okay.
college ministry, and I wasn't in college at all. I was always in barber school, but they were meeting up every Wednesday. I went out to a conference called SALT that they hold, and this is in Texas. I knew nobody at UCA. I had just gotten there, I only had a few months left to my lease, and but I went to this conference before my lease ended. Went out to this conference, and that's what changed everything for me. The pastor there that day that got invited to speak, he had mentioned, if you want to get filled with or if you want to get baptized with the Holy Spirit, raise your hand. It was a room of 300 plus people, bro. If you want to get filled with baptized with the Holy Spirit, raise your hand, come to the front. I was like, no, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no way, man. There's 300 people in here. I don't know nobody, right? Um, and I just stayed seated. It wasn't until after like the third or fourth time that he said that my body just kind of like got up itself.
Yeah.
It was not a decision that I made myself. Kind of just got up and I went to the front of the room. I went to the front of the room, and he told us to start praying. And so now it's like 10 of us, and we're looking that way, and then everyone else is in front of us, 250 plus people, and they're looking at us praying over us, right? He starts saying, pray. So I pray. And it's, I'm shy or whatever, right? First time doing something like this. I don't know nobody here. And I start off slow. Then he starts telling us, get louder. Put your hands in the air. Put my hands in the air. It got louder. 10 seconds later, boom, I fall to the ground.
Wow.
I fall to the ground and I can't move. I'm conscious. I can't open my eyes. I'm conscious. I'm on the ground, but I just feel this warmth on me, bro. This warmth, this heat, It was heavy, but it was loving. It was like I can't really I'm not ever gonna be able to describe it, to be
Yeah.
honest. Um, and I was just there, and I'm like, in my head, I'm conscious. And I'm like, what is going on right now? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
few seconds go by. I was there down for probably like 30 seconds, to be honest, man. And so I sit down, and there's a wall right behind me. So I sit down, put my back against the wall, and I'm just looking around, and people are praying everywhere, man, speaking tongues, everything, the whole nine. Out of nowhere, a girl comes up, and she hands me a note, and she walks away. I'm like, man, what is this? And so I pulled the note, I opened it, and there's like 9 words stacked on top of each other: Africa, soul, love, three rivers, caring, something like that. It was 9 words. I have a picture of it, right? And I was like, what is this? I don't even know that girl. So I close it up, and I still see her walking away, and I get up and chase after her. And I'm like, yo, what is this, right? She tells me that before I went down, she had started praying over me specifically. She's praying over me, and once she started praying over me and she closed her eyes, that's when I fell.
Yeah.
I fell, and she started seeing visions, whatever it is. It's not clear because it's just nine words stacked up upon each other,
Yeah.
and she saw these visions, and she had to give it to me. She wrote it down. She gave it to me, and that was that. So I would say that right there is what started everything. But to be honest, man, I fell off. I only had like 2 more months left to my lease. Came back to Russellville, had no more community. I was like that for about 2.5 years,
Yeah.
and then I rededicated my life again. Not till this man earlier this year, bro,
Yeah.
from February, right?
So that so
But
that's
yeah,
so that right there is the importance of a good church.
the community, yeah,
Yes.
everything.
So it's not it's not that you go to church to become a Christian. It's we go to church to be around like-minded people
Mm-hmm.
that are wanting the same things,
Amen.
uh and people that are gonna have our back. Like uh, like I know uh if I just needed to talk to somebody, I could call you, even though we don't really know each other super well. I
Yeah.
know that I could call my brother in Christ, and you're gonna talk me through it, or I could call uh, you know uh, anybody. I don't know. Like I said,
Yeah.
I said a while back, I looked through my phone and I have like 250 contacts in my phone now, and probably 75% of those are from church, and at least 75% of that would probably pick up the phone right when I called. Just
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, and give you good advice. Not you got friends of the world, and they'll give you some pretty bad advice.
They're gonna ask questions to open you up,
Yeah.
you know.
So that right there is the importance of church, man. I mean, there's a lot of other
For sure.
things, but being around people that are going to keep you on the right path is
Yeah.
really important.
Even that second time that you came through to our revival night where we were at the park in Clarksville.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, we don't even know each other like that, but I just have this trust in you because we're brothers like that now.
Yeah.
Um, to be like, bro, I need you to come out here, pray,
Yeah.
pray over us.
Yeah, and that was
Yeah.
honestly that was intimidating for me because I'd never been asked to do that. That was the
Mm,
first time I'd ever been asked to do that, and I did get to pray over somebody that night. And but I realized now too, especially since you deal with like a younger crowd, it's
mm-hmm.
important for people like me to uh, be available to pray and to tell people like, look, it can be better, if you do the right thing and follow Christ. And we did a little bit of a serve project with Project Hope over the weekend. I mean, uh,
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
would
I
you
was
do
there.
yard work?
Yeah, we did some yard
Yeah,
work.
I did a little bit of painting. My wife wrangled me into doing some painting, but uh, I never had to go to rehab through my addiction, but that's
Mm,
still something that's really close to my heart
yeah,
because, like, we're trying to set up more stuff
for
to
sure.
where I can interact with those guys and try to show them that there is life past
Yeah.
addiction, and you know,
Have you been out there before
yeah,
this past weekend?
yes,
Yeah.
I've spoke out there twice,
Nice.
but uh, I don't want to talk about it too much until it happens, but we got something else in the works to try to get some just fellowship with the guys
Nice.
and
Yeah, I
and
got Billy's number as well, but we
yeah,
also want to bring the group by as well, something like
yeah,
that.
man, those three guys, James, Billy, and
Mm,
Spencer, man, what they're doing out there is so important, you
yeah.
know. And man, I was actually listening to Jelly Roll talk the other day. He was talking to the like Congress or some sort of government. They were ruling on some sort of bill about drug addiction, like new laws or whatever.
Okay.
And and he was talking about fentanyl and how like 190 people a day die in America from fentanyl. And he was like, that's like the amount of people that's on a 747 jet. He's like, if a 747 jet was wrecking every day, you guys would be, you know, up in arms about it. You'd be doing something about
Yeah,
it,
for
you
sure.
know. And so,
Wow.
so I just think that people like me that have been through addiction, it's our job
Yeah,
to be doing something about it,
of
you know. And
course.
I don't know. I just my heart goes out to those guys, and I
Yeah.
love what they're doing over there at Project Hope
Amen.
and Saving Grace
Mm,
for the women, Project Hope for the men, and it's such a great thing. So the thing that we're really here to talk about today is mission trips.
yeah. Okay.
You just got back from Peru.
Yeah.
I personally have never been on a mission trip.
Mm,
I've seen video footage and pictures and stuff, and even that has an impact on me. So I just want to hear how it went and what you thought about it.
yeah, man. Um, I believe mission trips is what had me go all in, to be honest. Like, yes, I felt the Lord's presence so many different times. I can go on and tell you countless, numerous times where I just sat down and I was bawling, you know what I mean? Because I was just so wrapped around up in His presence, right? But I feel like it is a mission trip when you're out there and you have nothing else to focus on but that really does help you see that our identity through Christ will lead into a byproduct of sharing the gospel. And so as we're out there and we're going and we're praying over people, village to village, and we come back to our normal routine, it's so easy to snap back out, you know. So before we get out there, we have 2 days, and this is with the students group that we go with. We have 2 days where we show up at church and we're there from like 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. Right, and we're just training, getting our hearts right, getting our minds right, really just being preparing for this mission trip that we're going on. And so now we're out there and our hearts are there, we're ready and we're sharing, praying over people, crying with them and everything, and then we come back and it's so easy to see how distracted we are out here because there's nothing else out there to distract us, man. We're in the third world country
Right.
where I'm talking about people hardly wear shoes out there, it's all sandals, Crocs, etc. because it's just they don't have it like that. And so I heard I'm going I'm kind of taking a break through it right now, but on my own I have the Real Change book and
Mm.
I'm going through these videos of Pastor Rick and he shared once, if you cover yourself, the Lord's going to uncover. But if you decide to uncover, then the Lord's going to cover you. And so what that means is that if we're deciding to cover ourselves because we're ashamed of what we've done and
Yeah.
we're carrying all these things, we don't want to let go of the past, then He's going to uncover us. Meaning, um, He's going to humble us and He's going to show us how prideful we are and the things that we won't want to let go. And so that's what the first mission trip did for me. It showed me the things that I did not want to let go, my ways of being, the pride that I held.
Yeah.
Um, that was a that's what the first mission trip did. I didn't want to uncover, so I covered myself, and the Lord uncovered me. But the second trip, what I did was because now I'm uncovered. What He did is He really did cover me, meaning that uh, I know, I personally know now that I've been out there and I've had this boldness and the confidence to share the gospel that it really is a byproduct as you know Christ and your identity through Him. Um, that a lot of things within the fruits of the Spirit that do bear uh, as you spend time with Him and as you do His works. And as you humble yourself and go to His feet and just surrender everything, giving your life a living sacrifice, is where He really does show up, man, and show you who we are, what our purpose is
Mm.
out here. To be honest,
Man,
yeah.
I always come up with some sort of excuse. I do definitely want to do a mission trip. One of my questions I had here was like, why did you go? But you kind of
Mhm.
already answered that. It was just kind of almost like that girl prophesied it over you.
Mhm.
Like you knew that was part of your journey from the beginning. Um, man, I don't know. That whole thing is just amazing. How many people do you think that you guys got to talk to while you were down there?
Talk to. Well, in total, they gave us a number actually of after all the schools that we went through, the colleges,
Yeah,
the different sites. In total, we probably got in front of like 3,000 people,
awesome.
3,000 people a day today.
And you were down there for a week.
Yeah, we were out there for a week.
Yeah, and how was the food down there?
Yeah, amazing, man. The
Yeah.
ceviche, nothing
Oh yeah.
matches the ceviche.
Yeah, yeah. Is that is
Yeah.
Peru is South America.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So it's kind of rainforest and
Yeah, there's parts of it that like last year we went to Pucallpa, and Pucallpa is very, down the Amazon River and everything, right?
oh
Very
wow.
green. But then you have other areas like Lima, um, or Sinagoga, where we went to first, where the organization that we're partnered with has their church. It's all dust. Like they have no green. The only green they have is turf, and they
Oh
use the
wow.
turf field for soccer out there. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's just
So it's
yeah,
a lot of different
uh, very
different
different,
stuff.
very different.
Wow.
But truly, man, this time around, um, like my why was more so of I had tugs. I really did it. It didn't make sense for me to go out this year because, I want to open up that barbershop and then
Right.
also I get married in 3 months,
Oh wow.
and so it
Congratulations.
was like so many expenses left and right. And so I told the Lord, like, Father, if you really want me to go, you're gonna provide. Show me the way, and
Yeah.
provided 100%, bro.
Yeah.
He got fully funded and everything without putting a single dollar from 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 what I worked on,
Yeah.
to get. Uh, but it was just a decision. I believe that. I think that's really what. It's not more so of the things that we have going on in our life or circumstances, etc., that hold us back, but it's just that decision to go.
Yeah.
And once we make the decision, then it's all gonna fall in place itself
Yeah.
without us having
Well,
to.
like I said, I have excuse after excuse, but I know if I decided to go, it would happen.
That's
So
it, bro.
yeah. Uh, and did you personally got to see the impact that it had
Oh
on
man,
people?
yeah, yeah.
Was it like people your age or younger kids?
Mhm.
Like what was the coolest kind of impact that you got to see while you were
Yeah.
down there?
Uh, Within the Hispanic community, we're very closed off. I will say that we're
Yeah.
very closed
Okay.
off.
Yeah.
Um, we do not talk about our struggles. We do
Yeah.
not like. I mean, I never seen my mom cry type of thing growing up. You know what I
Right.
mean? And so I've carried a lot of that. And so when you get older and you grew up all in that, now we're going out there and we're going to these high schools. Um, a lot of them will not open up. If I'm being honest, like yes, we'll pray
Yeah.
over them. Yes, we'll speak and try to get real with them. But truly, it's a lot easier to open up kids. And so this one elementary we went to, they have, I think it's like from first up to sixth grade type thing, right? And we got to share testimonies, etc. as we were there. And so I had a group of kids in front of me, and I just told them my story. I told them my story, a summary of it, and as I told my story, I told them, okay, I want to pray over you guys. If if actually, so I prayed over them, and after I got done praying, I looked up and I saw two or three already having tears going down, right? And so what I did is I grabbed one and I prayed with them individually. I told them, talk to me, what's going on? They opened up and I prayed for them. And then little by little, they got in a line, one after another, praying one by one, one by one, one by one. And bro, it wrecks me because they tell me what they go through, and a lot of them, I mean, they're growing up without parents. They're growing up with not knowing where they're gonna go after school, or just a lot of different things.
So they
You know what
live
I
at the
mean?
school.
I mean, there are schools that do have that
Oh wow.
access to them, but it wrecks you, man. It
Yeah.
completely shatters you.
Yeah.
Another one we got to go to was a park, and at this park we shared the testimonies, prayed over people, etc. Um, but this one specific guy that we prayed over, he had said, um, I was actually on my way home from work. I saw what you guys were doing, and so I stopped.
Oh
I
wow.
knew Christ for 17 years beforehand, and he was just telling us his story. But I got so wrapped around with work and trying to make money that I've lost I've lost sight. And so he rededicated his life right then and there,
Yeah.
And it's just it's beautiful to see, man. And
Yeah.
that's what really what he does. The Lord does is he'll shape your heart, he'll mold your heart, he'll break your heart to what break his, so you can go out there and do the same.
Yeah. I guess that kind of almost also strengthens you to come back here and be a better
Mm,
pastor.
yeah.
Man, it's just the weight of that. I need to go. That's the weight of that is intense, and
I'm gonna tell your wife.
yeah, yeah. We've talked about it. We've talked about it.
Oh, y'all need to
My,
go.
I have it. I have a young
For
son, and I don't
sure.
want to leave my wife, and
Yeah.
I have excuses, and she's like, you can go, So
Yeah.
maybe next year we'll see, but
Let's go.
man, that's exciting, and the people that you did see that had houses and stuff, it was like little huts and sheds and stuff
Yeah.
like that, dirt floors and
Yeah.
that type of
Mhm.
like, somebody here would be like, "Oh, I live in a small house. I'm so poor," or whatever, and then you go down there and they have
Yeah.
one door and one window and a dirt floor.
Yeah. And unfortunately, a lot of people will go through their whole life living here and not realize how good we actually have it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
we really don't know what it is to be grateful.
yeah. I mean, surely nobody down there has a car or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Actually, a lot of them within that serve at their church, they're surprised. They got shook when they heard that we all have our personal cars.
Yeah,
They're like, "What? Really?"
yeah,
You know?
yeah. You guys are kings.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Actually,
yeah, yeah.
actually.
Man, yeah. I wish that here in America we understood that a little
Hmm.
better. Because honestly, if you look at the percentage, I think there's more people that live like they
Like
do
that.
than like what we do.
Hmm.
In the world.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
well, that's great, man. And just got one last thing that I want to talk with you. And
Yes, sir.
I know that you're just in a general ministry, but as men being leaders of our families, and to me, that's a really important ministry. Men's ministry is, and so if there was one thing that you could tell the men out there, what would it be? If
Yeah,
there's one thing that you could get across to men.
yeah. What humbled me the most was when I got in a godly relationship, to be honest,
Yeah,
because it really did show me my blind spots and places where I was just so in control, so prideful. So, truly, what I will say is that life gets easier whenever we finally understand that we're not in control or that we're not in charge. And once we do surrender, and once we do seek guidance instead of trying to pretend that we got to figure it out or doing it with our own strengths, that's when life does get easier. And I believe as men, that's that's one of the hardest things because we have to show that we are the men of the house. You know what I mean?
yeah,
We are strong. But we're only doing it through ourselves. Why can't we do it through him? And after we do wrap our minds around that, which man, it took me a lot to be honest, um, to fully understand is when I don't know. It's just it's a very it's a weight off our shoulders. It
yeah,
really is because it's no longer seeking on my own timing, but if he does put a desire in my heart and he's making sure and he's showing me signs, then I'm gonna be like, okay, God, I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna sit on it. If this is really from you, then you're gonna orchestrate it. I'm gonna just sit back. I'm in the passenger seat, You're gonna show me. You're gonna orchestrate who's gonna help me, what's gonna happen, how you're gonna provide, etc. But if I'm doing it on my own timing, then I'm like, okay, he put this on my heart. Let me go out there and seek and do it with my own understanding, and
Yeah.
just fight it, and grind,
Yeah.
with that grit that we have inside of us, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say that, man.
I think the more we seek the Lord, the more we meditate on Him and stay in prayer and stay in the book,
Yeah,
uh, the easier it is to hear His voice.
stay in the book.
Yeah, stay in the book and get a greater understanding. And Bible study. I know this is gonna sound crazy, but last night I was in my first real Bible study,
Mm-hmm.
like where we actually read parts out of the Bible as a group and
Mm-hmm.
talked about it.
Yeah,
I've done book studies. I've been in groups where we talk about the Bible or we talk
yeah,
about what we heard in church. But
yeah.
last night I was in a little church, Phoenix Church up on Buck Mountain,
Okay.
and we actually. Sorry, it wasn't last night. It was yesterday morning. It was Sunday school yesterday morning.
Was
I
it?
went
Okay.
twice yesterday, so
Nice.
I apologize. But helping each other understand it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and but yeah, the deeper you are in that relationship that you're talking about, the more you can hear his voice and the more
Mm-hmm.
you can be led, and it's easy to start to rely on yourself and go the other
So
way.
easy, man. It's literally a a tuning into it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, and it's like, why haven't I heard from God?
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. Yeah. And you
but
can go days with just, yeah. For me, it was not till I turned 20, 24, 23, where I actually started to. So I grew up Catholic, right? But I didn't actually understand, chapters or verses, etc., right? Like how to actually, if someone said um John 1:16,
yeah,
I'm like, how do I get there, right?
yeah,
And
what
so
does
it
that
wasn't
mean?
until we started the Bible study as well that I actually understood it. Um, but then it also, like, even being in the book, like we can be in the book so much, but if we're not willing to open up or confess, you know what I mean, and speak about our struggles and actually face them head on, then we can study the book and still be where we are
Yeah,
and not change,
yeah,
and go to church and not change
yeah.
at
That's
all.
something that so many people that are non-Christians, they hear about Christianity and they're like, they don't get that it's not about, like, I can't worry about how you're living your life, even though we're brothers in Christ. And if I see you doing something wrong, I should say something to you. But at the end of the day, I need to worry about how I'm conducting myself, and that's what that book is about.
Mm,
It's about I mean, and I'm not saying we are supposed to help each other. I'm not saying that, but my focus needs to be on, like, am I doing what God's telling me?
mm,
Like,
yeah,
so many people on the outside see us, oh, we're Christians. Oh, well, you just think you're whatever, but that's not what it's about. It's about,
yeah,
like, getting in this relationship and trying to do a little bit better every day, you know.
yeah,
Uh, and to me, you can't do it unless you're diligently studying and praying and
yeah, yeah.
and being in a good church around other people that are studying and praying and I talked about last night when I was at the church. I talked about iron sharpens iron as one man sharpens another.
For sure.
Proverbs 27:17, uh, and it's not uh, it's what we need to be doing. It's not just living the best that we can and then be there to catch our brothers and sisters when they
Mm-hmm.
fall. So.
Yeah.
Right on. Well, was there anything else that you wanted to talk about today, or anything else that you had on your mind?
Mhm. Actually, there was one question
Yeah.
that you did um, send me, and it was let me go to it real quick. It was, why are missions so important,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And what came to mind was Galatians 5:16 and 17. It says, "I say then, walk by the Spirit, and you will certainly not carry out the desire of the flesh. For the flesh desires what is against the Spirit, and the Spirit desires what is against the flesh." And what it's also taught me, man, is that when we're in tune with the Spirit, when we're in step with the Spirit, it's very hard to do what is opposed, which is the desires of the flesh.
Right.
right? And to end this with this one is that every time that I go out there, I get revealed, and the Lord brings things out, um, and I become aware of what my distractions are actually. So the more we're in this, as we were speaking about, and the more our heart is correct and we're willing to change and we're willing to learn, is the more we're in the spirit. And so it's harder for us to do and carry out the desires of the flesh because we're not in tune with the desires of the flesh,
Yeah.
but in spirit. And when we do tune into that autopilot and we're doing things with our own strengths, that's that's the flesh. So like you were talking about, like how can we ever listen or be, um why is it so hard to hear him when we are tuned into this side? And it's like a channel, like a
Yeah.
frequency in the radio. You can easily tune into it, right? And once you tune into what it is to be in step at all times, which is so hard, bro,
Yeah.
because there's so many distractions in our routine and what we have to do, and we're not allowing any interruptions that he's trying to orchestrate in our lives. It's impossible, man.
So you say distractions, and the first thing that comes to my mind, I'm bad about my phone.
Yeah.
You know, my phone
I had to
seems.
delete social media, bro.
Yeah. So do you guys have cell service when you're down there?
Oh yeah, a lot
Uh.
of them do.
Yeah.
Um, but we tell them not to stay on it. To be
Yeah.
honest, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be almost cool to just, sometimes depending on what I'm doing, uh, if I'm with my family and I don't need my phone,
Yeah.
I'll leave it in the
Oh
car a lot of
yeah.
times.
I love leaving my phone in the car, bro.
Yeah. I tried. I tried not having a cell phone for a little while,
That's
but
hard.
well, I broke down on the interstate with my 2-year-old son. My son's 7 now,
Oh,
but
he was
he
too.
was 2 years
Oh
old,
my
and
gosh.
man, I felt like such a bad parent not having the ability to call somebody.
Yeah.
Luckily there was a state trooper there that helped me, but
Nice.
uh, I was like, okay, well, I have to have it. I just got to be mindful about how I use it,
Man.
But uh, uh, but yeah, but while you're down there, so you do have that, but uh, a lot of the amenities that we have, like gas stations and fast food restaurants and whatever else we have here, they don't have a lot of that down there. So
Yeah,
you're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah,
actually.
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Like serious, you're here, bro. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. No, I need to. I definitely need to, and I think that every time I hear about it, I've had friends. I have a pastor friend that's been to Guatemala and El Salvador,
Yeah.
and he's shown me video footage, and
Mhm.
I'm like, man, I saw that right when I was becoming it, coming into Christ, and even just seeing that the photos of it
Mhm.
from somebody that I knew really well, I was like, man, that's like we have it so good. Just seeing the pictures, I was like, we have it so good
Yeah.
compared to them,
Yeah.
and we complain all the time,
No.
So
Smallest things.
yeah, so
Man,
yeah, I definitely need to go.
my food at the restaurant wasn't hot enough.
Yeah, yeah,
Did it taste the way I had it last time?
yeah,
We get so mad.
yeah, yeah. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. The you said that. Imagine going, man. Imagine being that not well tuned in that you like went to church and then went out to a restaurant and then like got mad at the waitress because your food wasn't
I'm
right. Like,
sure that happens all the
yeah,
time, man.
like, you know, that's the importance of being dialed
Yeah.
in. You don't want to be like that, but
Dialed in.
well, I appreciate you coming on
Yes,
with me
sir.
today. I think it was fantastic, and I love all the stuff that you're doing, and I can't wait to see what's in the future for you,
Thank you,
man.
bro.
It's great.
I'm grateful to be here.
Yeah. All right. Well, this is Garage Ministries, and we're just trying to help you live a little bit better life.